So, uh, Merry Christmas, first of all. Thought I'd come in here and wish everybody a Merry Christmas. And if you don't celebrate Christmas, then, well, celebrate whatever your thing is. I don't celebrate it religiously, but I do celebrate the holidays, so to speak. And of course, I was brought up with it in Germany. Christmas in that traditional sense, and I'm more into the spirit of it, if you will. Uh, Luckily, there's no family to have to deal with for me anymore. It's just me and Ripley now, which is perfect family for me. And I thought I'd come in here just before Christmas, which will be tomorrow, and wish everybody a merry one and a safe one too. Don't try to kill each other talking about politics and everything else. So anyway, the thing that I noticed here is I'm subscribed to a gentleman called Chris Lonsberry, who does moto vlogging on a motorcycle, on a Harley. And he's also into photography, filming, shooting pictures for bike magazines, stuff like that, but mainly the main channel is for motovlogging, and I will put the link to his channel in the low bar in case anybody likes that type of thing, which I think I've got a few riders on my channel. And well, he put out a challenge, I guess, that he found on the internet for Christmas, which I guess would be a biker's challenge, challenge accepted type thing. So I thought, well, since I got nothing else to talk about, really, I'm sure, I don't know, they might not shadow ban this. YouTube has been shadow banning my stuff and, giving me all kinds of grief with comments, stuff like that, but that's to be expected. So, we'll go on with this challenge here. And of course, I'm not going to put Christmas music in the background because of copyright strikes and everything. And I'm still not good enough on this other video platform, making platform, whatever. It takes way too long to render. So anyway, okay, so the questions are for the challenge here. If all the bikes were automatic bikes, would you still ride a bike? And I would say yeah. The shifting, of course, is kind of a thing that you get used to. And I have ridden automatic bikes. I think it was a Honda way back when, the Honda Matic 4 or something like that. Anyway, I did ride it. It was kind of strange that you didn't have to shift. Well, I think you had to shift it, but there wasn't a clutch. I forget now. That was a long time ago. But yeah, I mean, if it were an automatic, sure, at least you're not going to break a clutch cable. So I would get on it and ride. I wouldn't stop riding, that's for sure. So number two, let's see here. What does it say? If there was only one make of motorcycle or one manufacturer, and all they made was a 250cc, would you still ride a 250cc? Well, yeah, I guess. I would kind of like have fun on it. I couldn't get in the dirt anymore. I'm getting a little bit too old and brittle to get on a dirt bike and into the dirt. But to, do a little bit of local bouncing around or just get a little wind in my face, if there was nothing else available, yeah, sure, I'd hop on a 250, even though I think with my size, it may not be very powerful. It'd be kind of like, putting a fat kid on a mini bike. All right, so number three, what do you love about riding? Well, that's kind of a deep question. I mean, there's so much about riding that I do love, and that is just a part of who I am. I've been doing it for so long, since I was 10 years old. So we're talking, 52, almost 53 years old, basically. And it's just so much of a part of me. And the old saying that would come in is, "If I have to explain, you wouldn't understand," which is kind of true, because you'd get into it, and everybody's idea of why they ride is rather subjective, personal, and everybody has a different way of riding, a different type of style of riding, a different type of bike that they like, they prefer. Some people are speed demons, other people are touring people. Yeah, look, there's a lot of reasons I like to ride, and a lot of different ways I've ridden throughout my life. So, yeah, that's about all I can say about that. So, number 4 is, what do you hate about riding? Well, yeah, I gotta go with Chris on this one. Traffic, you know, uh, people with their distracted driving, texting on the phone, not looking out for anything. People that feel entitled and think they're the only people on the road. Tailgaters, just how can I put it? Inconsiderate people, and people that are, they totally got their head in the clouds. And of course, riding at this time of year, I've stayed off the bike during the week, during the shopping season, because everybody is so upset at the world, and they're just, they've totally lost the spirit of everything. They're all rushing to get presents and buying, and they're getting into debt. And, it's kind of awful, but, yeah, that's about the biggest part I hate about riding. Bad roads, of course, getting caught in torrential downpours. I have ridden in snow. I do hate that. That's not one of my favorite things. They don't make skis or outriggers for motorcycles, so it's very sloppy getting down the road. So those are a few of the things that I really don't like about riding. And of course, you put up with it. It's all part of the experience. So number 5. Okay, what do we got here? If the helmet law were dropped, would you still wear one? All right, here. This is another deep subject, and it's going to have a lot of different opinions, and a lot of people are going to look at this from different points of view. I certainly have my point of view. Now, I live in a state where the helmet law dictates certain things, okay? We don't have a mandatory helmet law per se, unless you're under, I believe, 18. And once you're over 18 and you want to ride without a helmet, the state mandates or requires you to have a certain number or a certain value of health insurance. So if you do have a wreck, that the taxpayer isn't getting stuck paying your hospital bills, which kind of, in this day and age where they're talking about free medical for every illegal alien, everybody that comes into the country, free medical care. But if you ride a motorcycle, sorry, pal, you're not getting free medical care. They want you covered. Look, fair enough, So I think it's a minimum of $20,000 or $25,000 in health coverage that you need in order not to wear a helmet. So I do not wear a helmet. On occasion I do, in bad weather, or if I get into any kind of a big city with huge amounts of traffic. Normally what I've encountered is that normally if you are at slower speeds, you're more likely to hit your head. At highway speeds and faster speeds, a helmet isn't going to do much for you anyway, because the testing that they go through, you can look this up online, it's rather anemic. Ralph Nader started this whole mandatory helmet thing. There are pros and cons to wearing a helmet. Medically, physically, awareness-wise, safety-wise, and the way they test them to make them DOT, Department of Transportation here in America, approved, then I think they drop a 5 pound ball in it, and from a height of 12 feet or something like that. So anything more or less, I don't know anybody that weighs 5 pounds, and I don't know anybody that's only flying for 12 feet if they get in a wreck. Except slow speeds, maybe, but you're still not going to weigh 5 pounds. So anyway, okay. I would definitely not wear a helmet, and I don't wear a helmet. And the other thing about the helmet laws, if you have one in your state, is that I really object to the government being a nanny and thinking that they have to tell adult people how to behave, what to do, or what to wear and what they can't wear. This is something that, look, I really object to, is the government interfering in that. If you want to wear a helmet, wear a helmet. If you don't. If you're an adult, you make that decision and you pay the price for it. So anyway, okay. This isn't very Christmassy, you know that? I gotta really say, this isn't exactly a Christmassy thing to talk about, but hey, like I said, I got nothing better. Okay, so number 6. If bikes were made illegal, would you still ride? Yeah, I would. And I'd have a whole crap load of them. In case I did get stopped, arrested, and they impounded one, I would still have backup bikes, because obviously if they're made illegal, you can buy them for very cheap. And number 2 is, with my mechanical knowledge and building knowledge of background in drag racing and, high performance stuff, I would make my bike or bikes very fast and very maneuverable. So, the cops would have to catch me first. So I would definitely be an outlaw at that point. Not the club, just saying, like an outlaw, not a MC outlaw. So if they made it bikes illegal, yeah, I would definitely go out in a blaze of glory. And hey, that's all I can say. Hopefully they won't get to that point where they have to dictate what you're allowed to drive or how you're allowed to drive it. And anyway, so there it is. And challenge accepted. I answered them as honestly and best I could. And if you agree with me, fine. If you don't, it's cool too. Do your own thing. And enjoy the holiday. I will talk to you probably next year sometime when there's more to talk about. So everybody, and have a safe New Year too. Remember all the amateur drinkers on the road during the New Year and probably during Christmas too. So try to stay out of their way. Anyway, all right, everybody, be good. Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho.